this session. Ayan. So we're given the differential equation. Ayan. And then we are to find the general solution of this given differential equation. So we're given parang a combination of exponential, algebraic, and trigo functions. Oo, tama. Ayan. So first thing we need to do is we need to check if what method are we going to be using when solving this differential equation. So first one is it a separable equation? Parang hindi because of this and this. So hindi natin pwedeng completely mapag-ihiwalay yung lahat ng may variable x at saka y. And then we'll proceed to the second method, which is the exact equations method. So before we proceed with the method, we need to test first if the equation is exact or not. Okay, so by performing partial derivative. Ayan. So let's test if the equation is exact or not. Ayan. So let's have the partial derivative of m with respect to y. So yung m natin yung terms na kasama ng dx at yung n yung terms na kasama ng dy. Ayan. So let's derive this in terms of y. That's opposite dx. Ayan. So that means all the x's are considered constant. So therefore, ex is constant. So ang ito lang di-derive natin. So that will be equal to ex, derivative ng sign, it's cosine. Cosine y. Mag-retire na yata yung pen ko. Ayan. Minus, sin x is a constant and even 2. So di-derive natin ng y is 1. So that will be 2 sin x. Ayan. Okay. Now, let's have the partial derivative of n with respect to x. So, this is the whole n. Okay, and we will derive it with respect to x. So, that means all the y's will be considered constant. So, in this case, cosine y is considered constant. So, ito lang di-derive natin. So, that will be derivative of ex is ex, cosine y. Okay, and then dito, x is a variable. So, what's the derivative of cosine? It's negative sign. So minus 2 sin x. So therefore, this is an exact equation. So that is an exact equation. Okay. Okay, susunod natin. So let's integrate. So the next step will be integrate. My class. So this time you need to select. So which one should we choose in getting our function? M or N? M on N. Okay, sabi ni Serge. Okay, suggestion ni Serge is N. Okay. So, sige, wala nang ibang nagsabi. Okay, sige. So, we'll follow Serge. N. So, that is the integral of, dahil ikaw nagsuggest, Serge, ikaw yung mag-integrate. E raised to x. Baka wala nang no? Wala nang mag-suggest, no? Pag ginawa ko yan, no? So, gawa pala akong ruleta, no? dy, and then plus h of x. Ayan. So, h of x will be our arbitrary constant. Okay. So, let's integrate. So that means this will integrate this in terms of y. That means x is constant. Ang integrate lang natin is cosine y. So what is cosine y? Okay, so the integral diretso lang, it is e raised to x sine y. Ayan. Derivative ng sine cosine. Ayan. Plus, since cosine x is a constant, so that means 2 cosine x is a constant. And then yung integral ng dy is just y. So it's 2y cosine x plus h of x. Ayan. So this is our function. Ayan. So wala natin kailangan i-simplify kasi wala naman nakakancel. Okay. Next, let's derive. Differentiate. Okay. So let's derive or differentiate that given function. Okay. This time, since we integrate it with y, so we will derive it with x. Ayan. Okay, so that means all the y's will be considered constant. So, ang derivative ng x, e raised to x, wherein sine y is a constant, it's still e raised to x. Plus dx, yun lang. So, 2y is a constant. Derivative of cosine x, that's negative sine x plus h of x prime. H of x prime. Okay, and then we equate. Okay, let's equate it. Since we chose n, so this time we will equate it with m. So I'll just copy it. So e raised to x sine y minus 2y sine x plus h of x prime. So that's equal to, so let's get m. So m natin is e raised to x sine y minus 2y sine x. Okay, and then let's simplify. So we can cancel this. Yeah. So we can also cancel this and this. So therefore, h of x prime is equal to 0. Now, the next step will be find h of x, okay, by integrating h of x prime. But h of x prime is 0 even if we integrate that. So that therefore, h of x will be equal to 0. So that means we have found h of x. And then let's go back to our function. Yung sagot dun sa integral dito. And then we substitute h of x dito. So therefore, the general solution is e raised to x sine y plus 2y cosine x. 0 yon. So equate na lang natin siya sa c. Okay, so this is our general solution. Ayan. So that's our general solution. Okay, any question? Ayan, since wala kayong, ay, may naman mata, wala naman. Okay, sige. Ivan. Okay, so akala ko may tinatype si Aaron. Medyo ingay sa labas. Sasara lang ang bintana. Ayan. So, wala kayong question. So, let's proceed to our next example. Ayan. Ang next example natin. Ayan. Okay. So, yan ang ating next example. Okay. So, we are given that the quantity x plus ey, e raised to y, times y prime is equal to x times e raised to negative y minus 1. Okay, so if we will inspect it, so I don't think we can use separable dito kasi we cannot separate itong dalawa. So ito, hindi rin pwedeng i-separate. So wala tayong choice kundi i-try siya for exactness. But before we can test it for exactness, we need to transform it first into the standard form. Okay? Yung standard form natin, yung mdx plus mndy. Ayan. So, ang gagawin natin, ayan, since may kikita rin natin dito na may y prime, so i-break din natin to into dy over dx. So, we'll have x plus e raised to y dy over dx is equal to x e raised to negative y minus 1. And then, paghiwalayin natin yung dy at saka dx, so by cross-multiplying this to the other side, so we'll have x plus e raised to y dy is equal to the quantity x e raised to negative y minus 1 dx. Okay? And then, i-transform na natin, transpose natin ito to the left side. Okay, para ma-equate natin siya to 0. Pero since ayaw natin nagdi-negative yung dx, ito na lang yung transpose natin sa kabila. So magiging siyang, ibabaliktad lang natin. E raised to negative y minus 1 dx minus x plus ey raised to dy is equal to 0. Ayan. Okay, so let's test for exactness. Okay, so let's have the partial derivative of m with respect to y. Ayan. So that means all the x's will be 0. So ito ay, ang integrate natin, derive natin is yung e raised to negative y because x is considered constant. So that's x e raised to negative y times negative 1. Ayan. Tama ba? Okay. Next, the partial derivative of n with respect to x. So that's equal to negative in terms of x. So e raised to y will be 0. So that's equal to 1. Ang nangyari? Ang nangyari ay hindi maganda. Okay, so based dito, the equation is not exact. It's not exact. Okay, class. So let me try something. Okay. Let me try something. So let me copy the equation again. Ayan. Medyo na ano kasi ako dito sa negative y. What if i-divide ko yung buong equation ng e raised to negative y? Ayan, no? I-divide ko siya ng e raised to negative y. Okay, so therefore, this will be equal to ito divided by this, so that will be x minus 1 over e raised to negative y will be e raised to y dx. Okay, may question ba kayo dun sa first, dun sa dx? Bakit siya naging e raised to y? Because that's 1 divided by e raised to negative y. So, pwede natin siyang gawing numerator. So, mag-change ng sign yung kanyang exponent. Okay, so wala. Minus quantity. If that is x, okay, this one is, itataas ko rin siya. So, magiging siyang e raised to y. Okay, plus, okay, e raised to y over e raised to negative y. So, that will be y minus negative y. So, that will be y plus y or e raised to 2y dy is equal to 0. Ayan. Ito ay x over e raised to negative y. So, tinaas, cancel pala. Cancel. Minus 1 over e raised to negative y. Ito naman ay x over e raised to negative y. Ito naman ay ey over e raised to negative y. Ayan. Okay, to simplify them, we will have this. Ayan. So, how about this one? So, let's try to test again. If by transforming this, it will become exact or not. So if not, we give up. Find another method. So that wag nating ipilit sa exact, kung hindi pala. Okay. So partial derivative in terms of y. So that means this is e raised to negative y. Then partial derivative of n with respect to x. So that means y is constant. So meron tayong negative times quantity. So in terms of x, so that means the derivative of x is 1. So that's just e raised to y. Plus, okay, derivative of this is a constant, so that's 0. Ayan. So it becomes exact. Okay. May question? May question ba kayo? Wala. Okay, so let's since na pag-exact na natin siya, we'll proceed to the next step. So let's integrate. Ayan. So let's integrate. Okay, so this time, which one are we going to select to get our function? M or N? Okay, so may nag-suggest M daw. Okay, so I think actually I agree. It's M. Kahit ako M. M ang pipiliin ko. So that will be x minus e raised to y dx plus g of y, which is our arbitrary constant. Ayan. So let's integrate. Okay, so the integral of x dx is x squared over 2 minus, since e raised to y is a constant and the integral of x will just be x. dx pala is x. So that will be x times e raised to y plus g of y. So this will be our given function. Ayan. Okay, so next we derive. Ayan. So let's derive this function. Okay, this time, if we integrate it with x, we will derive it with y. So that's equal to, okay, so this one becomes 0. 0, so that will be negative x e raised to y plus g of y prime. Okay, g of y prime. Okay, next, after we got the differential, so let's have to equate this to the other term na hindi natin sinelect, which is n. Okay, so equate natin siya sa n. Ano ba yung value ng n natin? So, based dito, ito, n is negative x e raised to y minus e raised to 2y. So, dinistribute ko na yung negative sign. Okay, then we can cancel this. Ayan. So, therefore, g of y prime is negative e raised to 2y. Okay, now let's find g of y. Ayan. So, how will we find g of y? We will integrate g of y prime. So, what is our g of y? Ayan. So, that's negative. So, paano natin integrate ang e raised to 2y? Ang u natin ay 2y. Ang du natin ay 2 dy. Okay, so therefore, we'll have 1/2 na neutralizing factor, e raised to 2y. Okay, and then, after we found our g of y, we will just substitute it dito sa ating function. So therefore, x squared over 2 minus, just copy that, x e raised to y, and then we substitute this, minus 1/2 e raised to 2y is equal to c. And then natin general solution. Simplify na lang natin since meron tayong over 2 dito. Let's multiply the whole equation by 2. So we'll have x squared minus 2x e raised to y minus e raised to 2y is equal to c. So this is our general solution. Yeah. So this is our general solution. Any question? Wala? Walang question? Okay, so let's proceed to our third example. Ayan. Wala kayong question. Okay, so for this example, we are given exponential natural logarithm. So we are given the quantity cosine x plus ln of y dx plus quantity x over y plus e raised to y dy is equal to 0. Okay, so let's test for exactness. So let's test. So the partial derivative of m with respect to y is equal to, so naka-transform na siya into the standard form. So that means this is m and this is n. So let's derive m with respect to y. So that means x will be constant. So cosine x is considered constant. Anong derivative ng ln of y? So that will be 1 over y. Okay, and the partial derivative of n with respect to x, so that's equal to, so lahat naman ng y ngayon will be constant. So, ayan. So y is constant. So x is, yun yung diniderive natin. Derivative of x is 1. So that will be 1 half. Ayan. Ay, so 1 half. 1 over y. 1 half. 1 over y. And then the derivative of e raised to y with respect to x, since e raised to y will act as a constant, so it is 0. So therefore, the equation is exact. Yeah. Okay, kung exact siya, so let's proceed to the next step, which is to integrate. Ayan. So to integrate, so let's find the function. Ayan. Kaya lang ano integrate natin? M or N? Kung ako ay mas pipiliin ko ay alin? Anong mas madaling integrate sa dalawa? Si Ivan gusto niya N. Okay. Actually ako gusto ko N. M. parang mahirap yata yung Y yan. Parang ganun lang. Parang ganun. Pero wala namang problema. Wala akong sinasabing mali kayo. Parang naano lang ako dito. Parang mas mahirap yata itong integrate kaysa sa cosine x. Ako lang yun, ha? Ako lang yun. Pero siyempre, susundan natin ang gusto ninyo. So, ang gusto ninyo ay M or N. O, Ivan, ikaw mag-decide. Ano ba talaga? Wilan. Sige. Sige. M daw. Sige, sa M tayo. So, the integral of cosine x plus ln of y dx plus g of y. Ayan. So, anong integral ng cosine x dx? Variable yan, di yan constant kasi dx yung in-integrate natin. So, that's equal to sine x plus ln y is a constant. Ang din-integral lang natin is x. So, that is x ln of y plus g of y. So this is our given function. Ayan. Di ba mas madali? And then we derive. Ayan. So let's derive that function with respect to y. Kasi din-integrate natin siya with respect to x, y. So this one becomes 0. And then x is constant. So in-integrate natin is yung ln of y. So therefore, this will be x over y plus g of y prime. Ayan. And then let's equate. Okay, equate natin siya sa n kasi m yung pinili natin. So x over y plus g of y prime is equal to yung n natin ito. So x over y plus e raised to y. So we can cancel. So ang g of y natin, g of y prime natin is e raised to y. Okay, now let's find the value of g of y. Yeah. Okay, galing siya sa g of y prime. So ang gagawin natin is we integrate g of y prime. Ayan. So non-integral ng g of y, which is e raised to y, it is also e raised to y. Okay, so therefore, we substitute to the given function mula dun sa na-integrate natin ito. So the answer will be sin x plus nx ln of y plus e raised to y is equal to c. So this is our general solution. Okay, so this is our general solution. Ayan. So any question? Okay. My class, kung wala na kayong question, so ayan yung sagot. Ayan. Tapos ito. Ayan, kung wala na kayong question,